all right, so here's my theory, right?
Okay.
Yes.
The world about 10 days ago was in kind of a weird place, right? With I know Turkey's had a bunch of issues there. They've got issues with Greece. And I was reading like a month ago about 10 reasons why Turkey is about to invade Syria again. Oh my God. And then I saw there's the whole issue where I believe Erdogan, whatever his name is, who rules Turkey, that guy who came over here and beat up US citizens and then got away with it. Remember when the protesters tried to protest against Erdogan or whatever, and his Secret Service like field goal kicked Americans in the face,
No,
and we didn't do shit. There's a great picture of one of them with his like boot drawn back to kick an American in the face, a big fat bald American crawling on the ground, and the Turkish Secret Service is about to boot him right in the mouth.
There's a tipped rascal in the background.
So anyway, that guy and his nation of Turkey were struck by a catastrophic earthquake, 2 of them. I can't remember immediately. Oh, and there's also the issue with the NATO thing where they're holding up the NATO charter of that other country unless a different country makes burning of the Quran illegal. And here he is. There's a different one. They did a lot of kicking. They did a lot of kicking.
The guy just deadpan taking a photo on the right. Like, I think I'll stay over here.
Oh, not again. I don't know why I made him sound like that. So I think maybe the United States hit Turkey with a seismic weapon and caused this gigantic earthquake, right? Destabilized the whole region, killed all those people. And look what it's like right now. Turkey and Greece have this pact where anytime there's an earthquake, fuck whatever's going on, drop the swords, drop the guns, earthquake time. So that's engaged.
Do we have seismic weapons?
Maybe. And so
there's a non-zero chance.
You've also the idea of them now invading Syria, completely off the table. Not only is there a huge cleanup and people dying on the ground and like rescue attempts needing to be made, Erdogan or whatever his fucking name is in a lot of trouble. They want to know where that $30 billion went that was meant for infrastructure for earthquakes. They want to know where that money went. You know what his response was? He turned social media off in his country, all of it, during the earthquake rescue. So that's what's going on there. Meanwhile, I doubt they're going to be so crotchety about whether it's legal to burn a Quran or not, because they're probably going to want as much support as they can get. They don't want to be too crotchety right now with NATO. So that's my conspiracy theory, that the United States was like, oh, we got to get a good thing going over here with Russia and Ukraine, and everybody's getting together. You're really flying the ointment. Maybe we'll just like shake you up a little bit, make your buildings crush. That's what I think happened.
Kyle, I'm going to add to this, because if we do have seismic weapons, I think there is an aircraft that we use to deliver those seismic weapons called the TR-3B. Have you heard of the TR-3B before?
I have not.
No.
It is this. You should Google it, but also hopefully we can get a picture of it. TR-3B is like basically this black triangle. It looks like kind of a stealth bomber, but it also looks like a UFO. And apparently it's a completely silent, magnet-powered aircraft.
Now you're getting into some sci-fi. I was talking about real stuff.
No, this is real. This is real. People are saying that this could be.
Yeah, but the picture says definite BS.
there's footage. There's footage of this thing everywhere. So there's actual videos of what looks like this aircraft all over. It's not just this picture.
You're gonna have to show me one of the pictures that don't look fake.
Is there one of it flying? Maybe like a good flying.
Yeah. No, there is footage. Hopefully, like I said, Zach will be able to pull it up. But
is it called the Black Manta?
I don't believe that exists.
You don't believe the TR-3B, but you believe that we have seismic weapons? Why would that be necessary? There it is. Look, right there.
I believe in seismic weapons because they've been long theorized, and Hugo Chavez, before he randomly died of cancer suddenly, accused the United States of having them. That was also right after he made the joke at the UN about George W. Bush. Remember, George W. Bush addresses the UN. Hugo Chavez goes up next, Presidente of Venezuela, and he says, I can smell the sulfur is in the air. Satan just walked away. I can smell the sulfur. And then he went into some anti-American rant. He came up with deadly cancer and died very quickly, not too long after that. But he had accused the United States of having seismic weapons. if we're to stay on in the vein of like hypothetical and maybe real weapons, the first EMP device that was ever created on purpose anyway was a test they did where they took a high altitude balloon and they floated, I think, a 1.6 kiloton device up to about 80,000 feet, and then they detonated it, and then they measured the electromagnetic pulse that was created. When you do it so high, it's got an incredible radius of impact. As the distance from the device increases, the intensity decreases. So the question would be like, how seriously would an area be impacted? But I thought that was interesting, considering that we just had let that Chinese balloon fly right over the goddamn country. And I watched a video about EMPs, and the channel. It's rare that somebody speaks so over my head continuously throughout the video that I just sit there lost. But it was mostly electrical equations, about amperage, and like it was equations about how like the greater distance, the higher the amplitude or something. And he was out of my fucking wheelhouse. But the way he explained it was, yeah, it would be real bad news if a really strong nuclear device was detonated that high in the altitude. It wouldn't flatten buildings. It wouldn't irradiate people. It wouldn't do any of those things, but it would fry every electronic device underneath it. For how far, we don't know. It would definitely cripple our entire infrastructure as far as like the power grid. He explained how, because our power grid is set up with these long, 100-mile long power line structures, those are perfect at catching these enormous long wavelength energies coming out of the EMP. Again, over my head stuff, but I got the gist of it. And it sounded like, I don't know, real scary to let goddamn balloons float over the United States. Why do we need a balloon police?
We knew all about those balloons long before anybody ever saw them. I'm sure someone had.
Not according to us. And by us, I mean the president and the Air Force. Like they've given press briefings when they're like, yeah, we saw them come when they came into Alaska, and they decided to let it.
They just let it go. Yeah.
Across the entire continent.
But
long ways.
Yeah, long ways.
They also did just admit too that those were happening all throughout the Trump administration. Yeah. And Trump didn't know about it, but other people did. So who knows if it reached like the levels of cabinet that we see in the press, or that's why.
And the other thing is like here's a way that they constantly lie, is they'll just move one word here or there. This balloon was enormous. This balloon was huge. This balloon. What were the other balloons like? Were they identical, or were they like the balloon that I could buy online right now? That's $50. That looks big, but like
Mylar.
Right.
Might be. I don't know. I was looking at buying a balloon because I thought might be able to sell some advertising on a balloon these days. If we could get our own balloon up while balloon is hot on the search results, we could put anything on the side of that thing that you want. Get a lot of eyes on it.
Interested? Call. This is a huge error.
yeah. Or just put a fucking quick link so people can donate to a fake charity, the Human Fund for people. Something like that.
Fund for people.
Whatever you do, some George Costanza nonsense. Yeah. I hope that's what happened though. Staying on.
I think it has a higher likelihood of being true than the U.S. detonating seismic weapons across Turkey.
I don't know. They're both 50-50 because it either happened or it didn't.
Well, all I know is that Turkey got hit by some earthquakes that at a very opportune time, and they wouldn't detonate weapons across Turkey, Woody. They'd strike at the fault underneath Turkey, perhaps with some
Turkey
sort of
has
weapon.
Earthquakes so often they have standing agreements on earthquake relief with Greece.
I bet this is a once-in-a-generation earthquake. I haven't looked or anything, but I bet that level hasn't been seen in 50 years or something. It's one of those scales where, like, going from 5.1 to 5.2 isn't, just a little bit more, huh?
Exponential.
Like, no, that's 30 times more.
Yeah.
And this was like a 7 point.
It was 7. Yeah, it was a magnitude 7. Yeah, it was huge.
Like, it was fucking huge. I don't know. I saw some real sad shit out of that. I try not to look because I like why do you
a lot of times like how bad the earthquake is and how bad the damage is aren't too related. It's like this was a bad earthquake, sure, but this is an entire country that's never heard of rebar. That's the real issue here. The concrete crunkles like dry sand or something.
Haiti. Yeah.
Well, this
Haiti's a good
the
example.
death toll in Turkey is like 12,000. It's over 12,000 people died, which is in. Is it higher than that? It's insane.
Like 18 or 20 or something. I don't know.
It's
It'll keep going.
crazy.
I
It's
guessed 50
crazy.
like right away. It's like, dude, that Turkey's a big country. Don't they have they have one of the biggest armies in the world? I think
Really?
it's
I
like
didn't
the
know that.
5th in the world or something like that. But Iraq had like the 3rd biggest army in the world. So you see how that goes.
Yeah.